More games today, a series next weekend in Lubbock, and then of course the postseason. So we'll see if they can break that mark as well. Malaysia Ochoa leading things off here today for Iowa State, and we are underway from McCombs Field. Ochoa, one of the most storied hitters in program history, had a double last night for the Cyclones. Iowa State comes in 5-14 in Big 12 play. As we talked about last night, pulled off a number of victories against ranked teams, 2 against Oklahoma State, 1 against Baylor, who was ranked at the time. We count 1-1 to Ochoa. So we got this game followed by the series finale at roughly 4 p.m. Central, assuming this game does not go long. And that's it for the home slate for the regular season for Texas this year. 1-2 on the way, back up the middle. Martinez scoots over, 1 away. Usual starting infield for Texas. Katie Stewart over at first, by the way. Atwood catching today.
Great range by Vivi Martinez there on that ball up the middle.
Strike one to Angelina Allen, who entered the series top 10 in the country in batting average and doubles. Had an RBI double last night in the loss.
Well, Angelina Allen had such an incredible freshman year, all Big 12 freshman team, made a name for herself, experienced a little bit of a sophomore slump last season, but Coach Pinkerton talking about how hard she worked in the offseason, looking at how people pitched her, where her weaknesses were, going to work on that over the summer, came back, loves what she sees, says he feels like she's having the numbers that could be an All-American season.
Katie Stewart fields that one cleanly for out number 2. Texas ranked number 1 in the nation for the 3rd consecutive week. That's a program record. And they've outscored their opponents by nearly 250 runs on the year. The stats so impressive all season long. Alicia Ranchez takes ball 1.
Well, everyone talks about what Texas has done offensively and defensively. It's not like they're leading the country in fielding percentage, but they have been so solid.
Ashton Maloney unable to get to that one. And rounding second is Ranchez. She ends up on 3rd with 2 outs here in the top of the 1st inning. That was a tough play for Maloney down the line.
Well, you like the hustle and the effort, but as an outfielder, unless it's foul, you don't dive towards the line because you have no one backing you up. So you either have to know you have it or you have to know it's foul. But again, you love the hustle and effort, but big break for Iowa State right there. Ranchez in with her 3rd triple of the season.
Here comes the cleanup hitter, Ashley Miner, dangerous hitter. Texas native having a breakout year, 2nd on the team in home runs and RBIs. And a big home run in the 2-0 win over Oklahoma State. 0-1 on the way from Gutierrez. Swing and a miss. Blew that one past her.
Gutierrez elevated that one a little bit. We don't see her throw that high in the zone very often.
Iowa State's offense didn't get going until the 6th inning. They were held to 1 single, and that is all in the first 5 innings against Tegan Cavan. 0-2 on the way. Got her. Gutierrez, for sure. As we said, she's done it the last 2 games, getting the start in the circle. A bit of a surprise start is the freshman Lauren Sherman, who we saw last night in relief. She allowed 4 runs in an inning and 2/3. They still have yet to throw their quote-unquote ace, Carly Charles, the senior, the team leader in the ERA. And going with the freshman in this one.
Well, it would have been an obvious choice, I think, to go with Charles, but with a doubleheader, maybe trying to mix it up a little bit, see what Sherman can do, starting a game as opposed to coming in relief. I believe we'll see a number of arms in both games for Iowa State today.
Ashton Maloney leading off. Entered the series number 12 in the nation in batting average. Went 4 for 4 a few nights ago against Nichols. Hitless last night. Remember, Sherman had to leave the game after taking that comebacker off the glove. Appeared to be okay, but they promptly removed her in place of Jaden Ralston.
Yeah, they brought Ralston back in. Texas was just able to time Sherman up. She threw a lot up in the zone. Not rise balls, but just missing up in the zone to where Texas was able to square them up.
Well, as we mentioned at the top of the broadcast, it is senior day for the Longhorns. We'll see Jordan Whitaker getting a start. A little bit later, Alyssa Washington as well being honored, Bella Dayton, and Estelle Check. And the tears were flowing before the game, Kat. I mean, there was a lot of emotions out there on the field for those key members of this Texas squad.
Well, they've all been extremely instrumental in helping Coach White build this program since he took over. Jordan Whitaker and Alyssa Washington, 4-year athletes here on the 40 acres, and then Bella Dayton and Estelle Check, both transferring in before that 2022 season, and both were integral pieces to that trip to the Women's College World Series. Both of them actually making the Women's College World Series all-tournament team.
Ashton Maloney, check swing, finds its way to left field. She is so good at that pinpoint accuracy, putting it exactly where the fielders aren't.
Well, she's a true slapper, and she has very good barrel control, so she's able to just get the barrel there enough. No, she doesn't have to do too much. Pokes that right over the shortstop ranches in the 5-6 hole. Texas leadoff hitter on, or leadoff runner on early.
There comes Mia Scott, who left the yard last night. 11 career home runs for the junior. So we mentioned the senior day festivities before the game, and a special congratulations to Estelle Check. His boyfriend, former Texas tight end Jared Wiley, who transferred to TCU. As she was being honored during the ceremony on the field, she found out Jared Wiley had been drafted by the Kansas City Chiefs today in the 4th round. What a moment.
It's got to be an emotional day to be honored for your time here and also hear about your boyfriend's future, and not a bad place to go. Good chance at a couple of rings there, maybe.
Joining fellow former Longhorn Xavier Worthy there. He got drafted the other day. That one, a dart off of Spellhog, and Texas in business here in the 1st inning.
Well, Sherman trying to get inside to Mia Scott, and Iowa State did that to her yesterday as well. She turns hard on that one. Nothing Spellhog could do as that ricochets off her leg for a base hit.
And here comes Vivi Martinez, who's been as hot as anybody in the Texas lineup as of late. 3 RBI doubles in her last 2 games. Martinez has reached 12 of her last 13. Draws down the bunt. Spellhawk charging in the throw to first. The runners advance, and here we go. Now 2 in scoring position for Reese Atwood, who is tied for the all-time Texas RBI mark in a single season. Currently sitting at 66 for the year. It's been at that mark for the last couple of games. Can she break the record here?
Well, it's been 2 games now that Reese Atwood has been sitting on this RBI record situation. We saw her RBI opportunity on Wednesday. She ended up getting hit in the head, and yesterday let off 2 innings before she had a chance.
See what happens here after she gets ahead 2-0. Katie Stewart on deck for Texas. Atwood's numbers phenomenal with runners on, hitting nearly 470 this year. Fouls one off. Reese Atwood is the only Texas player this year to play in every single game, and she has started every single game as well.
Well, the benefit this year being that they have Katie Simmons and Katie Stewart, who can both move behind the plate. So Reese Atwood, with the hot start she had, has been able to easily slide in the DP role when she's not on the field defensively.
Hitters count coming up.
Well, Sherman trying to use her off-speed pitch, but missing down in the dirt. All 3 pitches here to Reese Atwood. It's not a 3-0 count, but 3-1. I'm pretty sure Coach White's telling Reese Atwood, if you see it, go ahead and drive it.
Won't break the record here. Bases loaded for the Longhorns. And here comes Katie Stewart. Home runs in back-to-back games. She's reached an 11 straight. And a golden opportunity to put Texas on the board here in the first. Got Longhorns all around the bases for her.
Well, that home run was actually off of Sherman. Tried to get on a changeup blown away, but Katie Stewart ready for it. Right now, trying to stay inside on Stewart, get her tight, see if she can get a jam job.
There's a strike to Stewart. She already has 28 walks on the season. She's on pace for the most walks by a Texas player in nearly a decade. And showing a good eye here as the count goes 3-1 with the bases loaded.
Right now to the right-handed hitters of Texas. Sherman unable to locate consistently in the strike zone.
Full count coming up. Couple of singles and a walk for Texas hitters so far. Katie Stewart trying to break this thing open. Rips one foul.
Heads up over there in the bullpen. That ball can get on you fast if you're not paying attention.
All smiles, Texas fans. Hoping to have something to smile about here in a moment as the payoff pitch is on the way with the bases full of Longhorns. And Sherman walks in the first run of the contest as Texas grabs the lead.
Well, in this kid's situation, obviously knowing Reese Atwood is looking for the record-breaking RBI, whether Sherman was purposely trying to be careful with her or not, it's kind of pick your poison, because Katie Stewart coming off a 3-for-3 night in which she had a 2-run home run against Sherman. I would have gone right at Reese Atwood. If you're the record-breaking pitcher, so what? But right now, Sherman in a hole, throwing a lot of pitches already, 23 here in the first inning.
Here comes Alyssa Washington, the captain on senior day. Scott, Atwood, and Stewart on the bases. Still only one out here in the first inning. Remember, Texas scored 7 times in the first a few nights ago against Nichols. Washington pops one up. Ranches is there. And a big second out for Iowa State. But not out of the woods just yet. Here comes Jordan Whitaker, making just her second start of the season. Getting the nod here on senior day. The bases loaded and 2 away. She takes strike 1. Whitaker, for her career, 33 RBIs, 7 home runs, a number of clutch hits. The 2022 Women's College World Series. Remember, in that matchup against Oklahoma State, drew a crucial 5th inning leadoff walk against Kelly Maxwell to start the Texas rally when they were down 5-3 and pulled off the win. A former member of the All Big 12 freshman team. Just been a great influence on her teammates. Watching that one miss for ball 1.
Well, and as an athlete, you want as many opportunities as you can get, but Jordan Whitaker has done an extremely tremendous job being a team player, understanding her role. Really, you talk to the coaching staff and the athletes, but being able to start to spread what the standard of Texas softball is not always easy to do when you're not playing every day.
2-2 with 2 away. Whitaker sends one to center field, and Ochoa is there. So
that allows this team to be able to thrive right now as seniors, being able to have athletes that push them, get fired up, but then also have some that can just calmly talk and explain what needs to happen, but also just being models of what it looks like to be an incredible student athlete and take care of business.
And by the way, the seniors for Iowa State, including Carly Spellhog, who's at the plate here, also were honored today as she chops one over to third, as is the custom in softball. The visiting team also gets honored, presented with flowers on senior day, and that was a great gesture by the Longhorns here pregame.
Yeah, the home team usually announces and gives flowers to each senior on the opposing team. Sometimes your seniors will actually give the other seniors flowers, but in this case, Texas had their other athletes, their juniors and sophomores, handing out flowers.
Here is Tatum Johnson, the sophomore for Iowa State, who walked twice yesterday. Missed 32 games earlier this year due to injury. Again, an Iowa State team that's been ravaged by injuries this season. Lost their ace just a few weeks into the year, Saya Swain. Their freshman Aziza Rodriguez missed a good chunk of time, as well as Johnson, who's been a two-way player for them this year.
Well, Coach Jamie
I know
Pinkerton.
who you mean. Coach Jamie.
Coach Jamie, talk to us about the fact that, you know, Tatum Johnson is a two-way player, and obviously going out pitching, they had to make sure she was completely healthy. He likes the way she swings the bat, but even the opportunities there haven't been as abundant as they would hope, simply because they've had to have her in the circle.
Johnson to left center, and backing up is Martinez. We haven't seen many balls this year drop in left center between the speed of Dayton and Henry. Martinez was able to make the grab.
Well, this one, Martinez actually cuts the wrong way, but able to turn, basket catch that one, but the communication between her and Caden Henry letting her know that she was deep. She's not getting in for that ball.
I think maybe Henry or Dayton wanted to make another highlight reel grab. Another chance at making the Sports Center top 10. They've been doing it all week.
Well, those outfielders are a pitcher's best friend. They're not afraid to leave their feet, as we saw in the first inning by Ashton Maloney. At the same time, though, the percentage of the catches they make when they leave their feet is very high.
Count 1-1 to Tiana Poole. Hit this yesterday, 241 hitter on the season.
You can see on that close-up, Poole's talking to herself almost as much as Estelle Check does on the mound.
We need to get them mic'd up. Did you ever do any of that?
Not usually, and when I am talking to myself, my gloves up because I'm usually mad at myself. I don't talk to myself, I should admit, but very positively. But I do like athletes that, you know, are able to get up there and just, a lot of times you need to talk to yourself so you're not listening to yourself. When you listen to yourself, it's usually negative, but when you're forcing yourself to say positive things, it puts you in a different mindset. And for Poole, whether it's her game plan or just instilling confidence in herself, whatever it is, it paid off for a walk here in the second inning.
You know, Mike White has brought that up in the past about some of his pitchers saying, listen, you have two voices going on when you're out there in the circle. One saying, you can't do it, you're not throwing enough strikes, you're not getting the right accuracy. The other one saying, just believe, go out there and get the job done. You cannot listen to that first voice if you want to be successful at this level at a school like Texas.
Yeah, well, you have to have confidence, and that confidence can come, as Estelle Check talks about. She talks herself into the confidence that she has, especially in crucial situations or long at-bats against opponents.
Camille Marin gives one a ride to deep left field. Dayton on the track, making it look easy. Now, Oklahoma State is a weird team. We talked about them having to rally to beat Kansas down 5-0. We saw what they did to Texas. Took 2 of 3, but then they dropped 2 of 3 to this Iowa State team. Kind of never know what you're going to get with them. On any given day, they could beat anybody, or the opposite could be true as well.
Well, and I'm going to say a lot of that is focused on the circle. It's what does your pitching do day in and day out? And, you know, Oklahoma State uncharacteristic against Iowa State in their 2 losses when you talk about extra base hits and free passes issued, something that Oklahoma State has been very strong in. That was what allowed Iowa State to stay in the game and eventually take those 2 wins against the Cowgirls.
And you have an Oklahoma squad that is not quite the same as we've seen in years past, but still obviously very, very good this year. And we'll see which of those teams end up squaring off in the postseason. But Texas, this was the goal for Mike White all along, to be in position to host a super regional. They have done that and then some, as the count goes 2-2 to Caden Henry. So the scoreboard had the count wrong. We have the count right on our screen, 3-1. Well, never mind. We were wrong and the scoreboard was right.
Either way, it's a full count now as Caden Henry leads off the second inning. Interesting to see she didn't show bunt today. We did see her try to use the short game yesterday.
Henry sends one into the gap in right center. She will end up on second with a leadoff double.
Well, right on cue, while I questioned why she didn't use the short game, Caden Henry put some power into this one, into the right center gap. This ball over the plate, but pull side for Henry. Easily stand up double.
She's in scoring position for the senior Bella Dayton. State has gone to the bullpen. Oh, Bella Dayton called out there on the bunt attempt.
And they're going to say that one hit her as she was leaving the box. I think Coach White and Coach...
after about a 10-minute delay, it appears we may be getting an official answer. Randy Sanderson explaining things to Jamie Pinkerton, head coach of the Cyclones, and on his way to tell Mike White and his staff as well. Okay, so Mike White in Texas has won the challenge. That call overturned. Bella Dayton is not out. It has been ruled a foul ball.
So I really feel like this probably fell in that category of a live or dead ball, and can it be changed to a foul ball, because the out being called does kill the play.
Well, that is definitely a foul ball, no doubt about it. Count 0-2.
Can I ask for a review?
No, please. But they got it right ultimately. That one misses from Rodriguez. Two and two from Rodriguez.
Well, Rodriguez staying up in the zone, and obviously when Bella Dayton's showing bunt, you want to try to entice the pop-up. But now with 2 strikes, you know the bunt's out of play. Rodriguez hasn't challenged Dayton in the zone.
Dayton to shallow right field. Backing up to make the grab was Wardlow, 1 away. So after all that, it's still an out.
Still an out. The plus side, though, is Texas got to see a couple pitches off of Rodriguez's arm.
An advantage for her, though, right? Comes in, or disadvantage? Has that lengthy delay? Are you kind of loosening up a bit, or what's going through your mind if you're the pitcher Rodriguez, especially? This is her first appearance in 3 weeks.
Well, she did toss a little bit to Ranchez to keep her arm going in a circle and not get cool, but you know, you think one pitch, you get one out, and then all of a sudden you have that lengthy delay, and you don't know how it's going to come to fruition. And I think the delays sometimes are more mentally. How do you stay in it to where you're staying intense and ready to go, as opposed to letting that delay kind of be a lull?
She offers up the 2-0 to Ashton Maloney. Maloney singled to begin the day for Texas in the first. Been one of the best hitters in the nation over the past month and a half. 2-2. Iowa State wasn't sure if Rodriguez was going to be available for this series. We have seen now 3 different pitchers for the Cyclones, yet to see their team leader in ERA on the season. Carly Charles in the series. Full count coming up, meanwhile, to Maloney.
Well, and for Iowa State, this is a chance, too, to see what all their pitching staff can do. We talked about the start of Sherman, knowing you have 2 games today. Texas obviously saw Ralston twice yesterday as she started and came in relief.
Maloney, another check swing to left field. Texas with runners on the corners. Nearly the same spot she put that first hit.
Well, Ashton Maloney is so good with 2 strikes, but again, not even a full swing, just able to make contact with a pitch on the outer half. A solid single to left field. She likes that shallow left field spot, but she can power slap. So if you're a left fielder, you can't play her in to try to catch that ball either, because she'll be able to put it over your head sometimes.
And Maloney will steal second for Texas, their Big 12 leading 73rd stolen base of the year. Scott singled in the first inning. Takes one to right field. Poole backing up and makes the grab on the track, but tagging and scoring is Caden Henry. Texas extends their lead to 2-0.
Shortstop number 23, Vivi Martinez.
Here comes Vivi Martinez with 2 away and a runner on third. Dropped down the sack bunt in the first inning.
You know, Alex talking about the pitching change earlier as well. Also could be that Rodriguez is left-handed and Coach Pinkerton putting in his lefty pitcher for the lefty-on-lefty matchup with Bella Dayton, Ashman Maloney, Mia Scott, and Vivi Martinez all back-to-back-to-back.
Martinez to left. Allen hangs on after bobbling that one on the... She's given up 1 hit so far through the first 2. Olivia Wardlow in the 9 spot, taking ball 1. What do we make of Gutierrez's performance so far? She's flashed at times this year, looked brilliant.
Well, right now the interesting part is she's 3 for 9 in first pitch strikes. However, after that first ball, she's been able to come back and retire the Iowa State Cyclone hitters. So hasn't been affected by getting behind in the count early, but she has mixed speed. She's done a good job of using her drop ball on both sides of the plate.
Pitch clock was right at 0. Count 2-0 regardless. Pitch clock obviously malfunctioning at this point. I think that delay, that 10-minute delay, broke the clock. Lead-off walk here in the 3rd.
Well, not just a leadoff walk, but that's a leadoff 4-pitch walk. So Citlali Gutierrez might have been victim of that long inning as well. The pitcher have to keep in mind that you need to keep your, not just arm fresh, but mentally focused in too. And sometimes those long innings, you can do a number if you don't go out and throw and put yourself in a position to be working through some imaginary hitters or just focusing on hitting some good spots.
That one fouled off the bat of Ochoa. You know, Mike White talked to us this week about the one I don't know if I'd say a concern. One area he's looking at heading into the postseason is Texas still hasn't established a go-to ace that can consistently give you 7 innings. Saul Cavan pitched terrifically for 5 innings last night and then ran into a bit of trouble. It is interesting to see a team this dominant in the nation, this good, without a quote-unquote ace.
I think that game 2 is evolving to having a staff, and so Coach White has the staff, but really when he talks about wanting an ace, it's someone that you know can handle the adversity and can day in and day out give you the consistent, not necessarily 7-inning start, but the consistent performance as far as execution of spins and locations go. But I think, too, that some of Texas's success is they have 5 arms, all that complement each other, and any given day, you don't know who's starting. I mean, prior to games, Alex, you know, we get to call it the entire slate of home games, but we don't even know who's starting. It's still a guess because there's not that one ace, or you know it's just going to alternate back between 2 people. So that's been part of their success, I think, too, is opponents have to game plan for all of the arms. You cannot just rest assured that you're going to get Cavan on Friday and Gutierrez on Saturday, because it might not be that.
So far for Gutierrez, a couple of walks, strikeout, a triple allowed, and count 1-1 to the leadoff hitter, Malaysia Ochoa. Top 10 in program history in hits, home runs, RBIs. Now behind 1-2.
Ruth Taylor took the timeout, try to regroup with Gutierrez.
Did not go around.
As a pitcher, you want that one for sure. Her hands went. I don't think the barrel did, so good call there.
This is not an Iowa State team you want to mess around with and let hang around the game. They've had a number of big 7th inning late game rallies to beat Oklahoma State, to beat a Baylor team that was ranked at the time as well. We saw last night they made things interesting here in Austin.
Well, they do a really good job of building on their at-bats, and so first time through last night, Tegan Cavan was able to keep them off balance, and as they got their second time through, you saw them adjusting, swinging earlier in their count.
Ochoa with a base hit, and Iowa State with 2 aboard. No outs. Angelina Allen. She takes ball 1.
Right now, Gutierrez just unable to locate knee height the way she was in the first inning. And really, if there's a hitter you want to avoid, Angelina Allen is it.
On the way to Allen. Chops one. Washington makes the tag. First out of the inning, runners on the corners. Now, time is called. They will check on Alyssa Washington.
Well, here you see Alyssa Washington go into the tag and then go ahead and plant and make a throw.
You can see wincing in pain with that throwing arm. Anything you notice there, Kat?
In a first and third, see if they put Allen on the move at all. Reese Atwood does have a good arm behind home plate.
A walk and a single so far in this inning for Iowa State against Gutierrez. Ranchez over to good. On to second for 1, on to first for 2. How about that? You enter the game and the ball finds you. #1 ranked Texas team right now. What are you saying to your squad in the dugout?
Well, we just got to keep the energy up and keep doing things the right way. Work ahead in the count, make the plays when we get it, and then take advantage when we have runners in scoring position. That was kind of an inning that kind of can bring the energy down, but hopefully we'll get a good 1, 2, 3 inning here and stay on a roll.
Well, Coach, you surprised us all entering Rodriguez in the game right there. Can you talk about your switch to the lefty?
Well, I mean, we just went lefty-lefty, and you know, right now the bullpen's taxed, and with the thinness of it, and you know, anytime we can get innings out of someone and take some of our pitchers out of high leverage situations, it keeps the pressure off of them and keeps the fatigue down. We're just trying to mix and match and make it through the series.
Appreciate it, Coach. Thank you.
Yep, thank you.
Aziza Rodriguez back out there in the circle, and look who's leading off an inning for the 3rd time in the last 24 hours. Reese Atwood trying to break that record. No runners on for her here to begin the bottom of the 3rd inning, sitting on 66 RBIs for the year. Takes strike 1. Atwood with 15 home runs on the year, 3 shy of tying Texas single season record. All over the Texas record books this year.
Well, just absolutely incredible what she's been able to do. And really, again, you talk about it, Coach White talks about recruiting her mainly for her defense, how good she was behind the plate, her arm. And with the offensive piece taking off the second half of last year, just absolutely kind of astounded the fact that she's been able to keep up what she's been able to do this season as a sophomore.
Hitting .399.
And it's not just the consistent hitting. You know, hitting 400 is not easy, but it's just the way she's able to do it with power. Being able to come through in so many clutch situations with RBIs. You have to be put in that situation in order to get the RBIs. So the fact that athletes ahead of her are able to get on base, but that she's able to remain in a good mindset where she can drive them in.
has worked the count back to 2-2. Finds its way past two defenders to left field. Reese Atwood has now reached in 10 straight games. Even though she's not breaking the record yet, she is still getting a hit game after game. Atwood over at first. Here's another hot hitter, Katie Stewart. You could say that about half the lineup. Ashton Maloney, Vivi Martinez, they've all been on a roll as of late. Stewart walked in the first inning. And she takes strike one.
Well, you see Stewart and Atwood both taking the first pitch against Rodriguez. They have not seen her in this series yet. As we mentioned, she hasn't pitched since April 6th, so both of them being patient to see, one, what she throws, and two, get their timing on the speed she throws. There's a new pitcher in the game. You don't always want to go out hacking, even if you see a good pitch, especially if they have a good speed differential between their hard stuff and their changeup. You want to be able to get your timing.
Stewart ahead of that one. The count goes 1-2. So after this weekend, Texas goes to Lubbock, and then it's off to the Big 12 tournament and beyond. 1-2, smoke to left field, but foul. Got to check that car for dents.
The strength of Katie Stewart is just incredible. That pitch up and out.
And that one hit her. Two aboard for Leanne Good. Leanne Good still trying to find that offensive success from a season ago, hitting .245 right now. But it's also tough when you're in and out of the lineup. They were giving her chances to start earlier this year. With the depth of this team, it's been a battle.
Well, with the depth of the team and the fact that everyone has been able to contribute. And the big question was, Texas was going to plan to put Mia Scott in the outfield, but with Caden Henry, Bella Dayton, Ashton Maloney not only making SportsCenter grabs, as you mentioned earlier, but also offensively being a threat, they kept Mia Scott at third base, which kept Alyssa Washington in the middle infield and eliminated either Leanne Good or Vivi Martinez. And Leanne Good was out at the beginning of the year with a wrist injury, coming back from a surgery. And when your teammates take off, it just doesn't leave a place for you. But the sophomore get an opportunity today, and a good one too, as Texas goes into the home stretch and into postseason. Leanne Good going to have some live at bats under her belt, as well as a chance defensively to get some live reps, as we saw to end the top of the third.
She's been a great defensive player while playing 6 different positions so far throughout her career. That one chopped just short over to first, 1 away, but now 2 in scoring position as the pinch runner Wallace moves on to third, and you have Katie Stewart at second. Here comes Jordan Whitaker on senior day.
Designated player number 5, Jordan Whitaker.
Couple of hits, couple of runs driven in on the season. Texas has had multiple runners on every inning. Scored 1 in the first, 1 in the second.
Well, and they've had some loud outs. Jordan Whitaker ended the first with a ball that she just missed, a fly ball to center field. Vivi Martinez put a charge into one in left center to end the second inning.
Fouled that one off of her.
That hurts. She's going to feel it every time that foot hits the ground for a little bit.
Ready to go with the 1-1 count. Rodriguez has been working ahead of these Texas batters. Was ahead 0-2 to Atwood, but gave up the single. Was ahead of Stewart, but walked her. And now ahead of Jordan Whitaker.
Well, and the key is, again, we said she hasn't started or been in a game since April 6th, is what is your out pitch? You can get ahead, but what pitch is it that you're going to get them to miss hit, to pop up, possibly swing and miss? Haven't seen an off-speed pitch from her. And she keeps trying to go up in the zone. She hit Katie Stewart with it, but so far it's been too far out of the zone for Texas to chase it.
One ball away from loading the bases.
See Jordan Whitaker antsy to get a hit. That ball was ball 4 up and in, but we'll get her barrel there and foul it off.
Can't blame her. You know, why not? Get your second start of the year. Want some action.
Well, and there's something to that as well. In the DP role, you're not usually in there to work a walk. You're in there because you can drive in runs, and so when you have that opportunity, if you get a pitch you can drive it. There are times where too many walks doesn't pay off offensively.
Whitaker skies one to deep left field. And we'll do it again. A lot of souvenirs there today. It's the same guy who caught Stewart's home run yesterday.
They're busy out there, but this one sky high, but about 15 feet. Foul. Whitaker knew it too. She didn't take off from home plate.
Well, after that one, you could see Rodriguez didn't want to make a mistake there. Give up a home run. Ends up walking Whitaker. So the base is loaded. Remember, Texas had the bases loaded in the first inning. That's the situation again. Now for Caden Henry, who doubled in the second inning. What a year she has had, hitting .387, 7 home runs, leading the Big 12 in stolen bases, and terrific defensively all year long in center.
Again, it's a credit to Coach White and his staff, the ability to have recruiting classes that can come in right away and make an impact. You talk about the sophomore class of Vivi Martinez, Leanne Good, Citlali Gutierrez, and Ashton Maloney, actually, who was a redshirt freshman last year, and the impact they made. And now Tegan Cavan, Caden Henry, and Katie Stewart able to do it every day as well.
There's strike one from Rodriguez. The count now 2-1. And even up at 2.
Well, Texas hitting .396 with bases loaded, looking for Caden Henry to up that average, hopefully up over 400, as a lot of their averages are at this point in time, getting close. But Rodriguez, the lefty-on-lefty matchup, something I didn't really notice till we were almost the end of that second inning, but tip your hat to Jamie Pinkerton and his staff.
That one got away from the catcher. It nearly hit Henry, but did not. So everybody stays put on the bases, and a full count to the freshman.
That rise ball continuing to get away from Rodriguez. She hit Stewart and hit Jordan Whitaker with it. That one up and over the head of Henry.
Called strike 3. How about that pitch from Rodriguez?
Well, in a full count, you have to be ready to protect. And this pitch, right at the top of the zone, that's in there for strike 3. Good pitch by Rodriguez. Caden Henry has to be aggressive in that situation, looking to drive in runs and not take a walk.
So it's up to Bella Dayton to take advantage of the bases being loaded. That one drops in foul. In the first inning with the bases loaded, Texas came up with 1 run in that inning. That 4 on so far on the day.
Texas Texas still looking for the big hit that breaks it open, that they can build some momentum on.
Dayton had the triple 2 nights ago against Nichols, single last night. Remember, she doesn't have an inside the park grand slam. Did it last year against Marist. Dayton gives one a ride to deep right field and hauled in by Poole as she backs into the wall. Performance so far.
Yeah, well, we're getting people on, but the left on bases, you know, they can hurt you in the end of the game if you don't score sooner or later. So we need to do that, and obviously we got to Giselle Alley got to have a big inning last inning with a double play.
Coach, I'm going to say, what do you like, or what have you seen out of Citlali Gutierrez's performance so far?
Getting those ground balls when we need them, and that's what we need from her. You know, she can, you know, she struggled a little bit in that inning, finding the zone and a couple of walks. We got to kind of prevent those, but she's really using her off speed pretty well also.
Appreciate it, Coach. Thank you.
Hey, thank you. Hook 'em.
Mentioned Citlali Gutierrez, a strikeout, a couple of walks. No runs and 2 hits allowed up to this point. The triple in the first inning and the single in the last frame. Iowa State has had at least a runner on in every inning so far, but held off the scoreboard up to this point.
Well, and that's the key. Someone used to tell me the goal of the game as a pitcher is to not let them touch home plate. So as long as they don't do that, you're doing your job. Obviously, your defense has to work behind you, but Citlali Gutierrez so far scoreless, and Texas defense playing well, as Coach White mentioned. The ground ball double play to end the 3rd inning, really so far the standout highlight for Texas defense in this game.
Ashley Miner fouls one off. Gutierrez, remember, earlier this year won Big 12 Pitcher of the Week honors after the complete game victory over Tennessee. Was ranked number 2 at the time. That was the highest ranked team Texas had beaten in 2 years at that point in the season. Miner with a blast to right, but it dies down. Maloney in front of the track. One away. There have been some hard hit balls by both teams today.
I was just going to say, Alex, the last 3 games we've been up here, I feel like it sounds a lot louder off the bat than where it actually carries.
It's tough to leave the yard to right. Usually in this park this year, the wind blowing out to left field like it is today.
Well, and obviously dead left field and dead right field 200. Gets deeper after that.
Spellhog down the line. Leanne Good. How about Leanne Good and her glove coming off the bench?
Well, defense has never been a question mark for Leanne Good. She has so much range and so much speed. Great drop step there, and especially knowing Ashton Maloney's playing deep, that's a ball she's going to have to go get to. Great hustle by Good.
Leanne Good has played more than 90 games, fielding 6 different positions, and despite that, just 5 errors in her career.
Well, you talk to the staff, and sometimes they say she's one of their best outfielders as well, with the arm she has, the speed she has. She hasn't played out there a ton to have the first jump and reads like some true outfielders. But she can literally play anywhere on the field with her athleticism and the strong arm she has. I wouldn't be surprised as her career goes on if she continues to move around the field, if Texas finds some other hitters that they need to plug in defensively.
And Gutierrez takes care of the rest with an inning and...
But the other part, she held Ashton Maloney 0 for 4 yesterday. So trying to not give Texas some momentum here back at the top of the lineup as they go the 3rd time through in this game.
And maybe that's been the key, throwing all these different arms, each one of them only lasting a few innings. Yesterday they started Ralston, went to the bullpen with Sherman, went back to Ralston. Today it was Sherman with the start, Rodriguez replacing her, and now Ralston. Maloney over to second, and Ashton Maloney retired for the first time today.
Well, and other than the home run by Mia Scott, that's the only run she really gave up. She issued 1 free pass and a walk to Katie Simis, but didn't get hurt by a double from Katie Stewart and a single, and Bella Dayton was able to keep her composure and keep Iowa State in the game.
She's been at her best against the top competition. Held OU scoreless through 2 2/3 to Jaden Ralston. Tossed 2 scoreless against Oklahoma State to get the save. And allowed 0 earned in 4 2/3 against Baylor.
Well, and much improved from her freshman year. Last year, Texas able to get to her early, limit her opportunities. But you see her able to use her rise ball, her curve ball, spot the ball well. Also gets in on these lefties quite a bit.
You mentioned the home run she gave up to this batter, Mia Scott, last night. Maybe that's still fresh in her mind as she's not taking any chances now, falling behind 3-0.
Well, she knows that. And Mia Scott adjusted after Ralston was trying to go inside quite a bit to Scott. Big opportunity there. I thought Mia Scott might have the green light on 3-0.
Certainly will here on the 3-1. That earns the walk here with 1 away in the 4th inning. Again, Iowa State giving up walks the last 2 games, giving up singles today as well, but not the big hit up to this point.
Well, and that's what Texas is still looking for, is that big hit to just grab the momentum and run with it. They have not been able to do that. And you have to credit, too, Iowa State's defense has played clean so far. We're 1.5 games into this series, and they have played clean defense, not given Texas extra outs, which Coach Pinkerton said was their focus, not allowing to Texas to have 4- and 5-out innings.
Vivi Martinez swings on the 0-1, sends it towards foul territory, and making the grab is Allen. Tagging and moving on to second is Mia Scott, now with 2 away. So another runner in scoring position for the Longhorns. That's been the story so far today. Can Reese Atwood take advantage and break the single season RBI record? She's reached twice, a single to walk.
Well, while Reese is hunting for that RBI in Texas, 1 for 8 with runners in scoring position. So Reese Atwood trying to elevate that just a little bit here against Ralston.
Take strike 1. Atwood fell behind 0-2 in the last at bat before singling. Takes the 0-1 into the gap and gone. There it is. Reese Atwood has made history. RBIs in a single season, a new Texas record.
Well, that fan's excited to get the ball out there. Reese Atwood may want that one back. With this swing, Reese Atwood sets the single season RBI record for Texas. Also adds to that home run total as she chases that single season record as well. Off the bat, Alex, I thought that was going to hit the wall.
Yeah.
She cleared the wall just enough.
The gap. That was a line drive shot.
And don't forget the twirl-like Eva there at home plate.
As you said, Atwood now with 16 home runs, 2 shy of the single season record. And all alone in Texas history now with 68 RBIs.
Well, and that record held by Lindsey Stevens and Taylor Thom. It's been a while since someone got close enough to break that record.
And she still has how many more games left? At least 4 in the regular season, the Big 12 tournament, the regional, potentially super and beyond.
Yeah, there's quite a bit left. So Reese Atwood could not just break that record, but absolutely shatter it by the time the season's over.
That may be untouchable. And
we've talked about it, Alex, but the offensive production she's had this season, but the records and the opportunity to have those RBIs is really a tribute to the squad 1 through 9, being able to get on ahead of her, being able to have protection behind her. So you have to figure out, you can't avoid Reese Atwood because there's ahead of her and behind her hitters that can do their job.
Meanwhile, there's an inning-ending strikeout of Katie Stewart, but
oh, that's the big hit Texas has been waiting for. You can say Reese Atwood's been waiting for it too, but in this game alone, Texas has just been waiting for that big hit that kind of breaks this game open. But the monkey on your back is it's a real thing when you're chasing records.
well, it had been, what, 2.5 games, had some opportunities. Obviously, that's not a ton of time, but it's all we've been talking about with each at bat, and she knows that. Obviously, the articles written about her, the notes on social media, on her record-setting pace, and finally has that record. As you said, she's going to shatter that mark by the time the year is over. Again, she came in as mainly a defensive recruit. Top catcher in the nation coming out of high school. And Mike White said, really, when you talk about her, when he recruited her, reminded her of Aubrey Monroe, your former teammate on the U.S. Olympic team. Brilliant defensive catcher, and that's what Mike White was thinking. Her offense has been absolutely off the charts through her first 2 years now.
Well, in her frame, if you're familiar with softball, her frame is very similar to Aubrey Monroe, both extremely tall, skinny, lanky catchers, and you don't see a lot of over 6 feet lanky catchers. That's what Coach White thought he was getting, but you also have to give credit to Reese Atwood. She had the freshman year she had, which Coach White was pleasantly surprised with. But then she went to work in the offseason in the weight room to get even stronger, which is where you see her power numbers, to work on her weaknesses hitting, where you see her consistency grow. And it takes a lot for an athlete to push yourself after the successful season you had as a freshman to say, okay, I can be even better, and not just say, yeah, you know what, I did that, I can do that again.
As you can obviously attest to, any great player puts in tremendous hard work. Nobody's just gifted and goes out there and dominates without that. Like Reese Atwood, we've seen her tinker with her swing at times, always working to get better, never complacent. And that is the reason she's breaking all these Texas records as just a sophomore, by the way.
Well, that and just always learning.
First 2 batters of the inning retired. That's a player who just continues to work, Reese Atwood.
Well, with a 4-run lead now, Citlali Gutierrez doing a great job of working with Reese Atwood, retiring Iowa State. 2 up, 2 down.
You brought up a great point. The viewers, the fans, they don't see that the hours Atwood and players like that put in behind the scenes during the offseason. At practice, you just see her come out here and the bat explodes and she's putting up these monster numbers. There's a reason why. It's her work effort.
Well, and the work ethic and the time that an athlete wants to put in to the physical work, but as we've mentioned too, the mental work and looking at film. Reese Atwood saying to herself, you know what, I could be stronger, so let me go ahead and work in the weight room in the summer, over Christmas break, and ensure that I'm getting the most out of myself. All of that goes, but I think it goes back to your most elite athletes are always learning. They never think they've made it. They never are resting on the laurels that they've already accomplished. They are constantly wanting to learn and figure out how they can grow in this game. And I just really think that's what Texas is getting out of Reese Atwood, a catcher who came in and said, let's go to work. Let me figure out how I can make my mark here, even if that wasn't her intentional thought. As soon as she was starting to gain the recognition, it was like, okay, I just want to take this and continue to build on it.
We've talked about her offense so much this year. You kind of forget about that amazing defensive play she made at the end of the Oklahoma game. The tag at home as she got barreled over by Maya Bland and held on. It's one of the best plays we have seen defensively around here in a long time.
Well, that play, and then there was actually a bunt last night that she made an incredible play on, and it ended an inning, so it wasn't as big a deal, but she is so good on both sides of the ball.
Speaking of defense, Texas had getting off. Good replacing an injured Alyssa Washington over at second. What you can see, Washington wanted to stay in there after getting her throwing hand taped up. Texas playing it safe and replacing her with Good. He's made a couple of nice defensive plays.
Well, with Good replacing Washington, you don't miss a beat defensively. Offensively, Good a little slower start this year than last year, but still formidable. And really, Texas needing her to get opportunities here down the stretch as postseason rolls around. So not a bad time to go ahead and make that switch and make sure Alyssa Washington is fully healed up.
And especially a player like her who's dealt with numerous injuries throughout her career, thumb injury, ankle, knee as well. We'll make sure she's as close to 100% as possible as Leanne Good earns the leadoff walk. This was earlier in the contest. Alyssa Washington over at second.
Yeah, just assuming that on that tag it jammed the thumb on her throwing hand. Quickly came out to tape it up, but quickly escorted her off the field as well.
Number 9.
Here comes Jolie Mitchell getting her first at-bat of the contest. The transfer from Notre Dame. She's very quietly hitting .365 this year. With 27 RBIs, you put up those numbers and you're still battling for playing time. That says something about this roster.
Well, and talking to Mitchell early in the year, she wanted to transfer to Texas because she liked the style of play. She liked the way they competed. She wanted to be on a team that could compete for conference championship into postseason. And well, yes, you want to be in the everyday lineup. If those are the things you're wanting, you're going to find a way to contribute regardless of what your role is. And really, Jolie Mitchell found herself in the starting lineup because she got to pinch hit one game and ended up going 3 for 3 in that game. Found herself in the starting lineup.
That's right, she wasn't an everyday starter to begin the year. That's a good point. At Notre Dame was an all-ACC first-teamer. Put up ridiculous home run numbers in high school in Arkansas, 58 career home runs. That's a comebacker snared by Ralston in the circle. That is 2 games in a row. Texas has sent one right back to the Iowa State pitcher, and they'll check on her.
Well, Ralston secures the out, but this definitely hits her legs. She does not field that one. She fields that with her legs, and she's walking that off as it hit her in the thigh.
Now remember, after Sherman saw a comebacker hit her glove, they removed her from the game. This one, as you said, hit Ralston in the leg. Looks like she'll stay in there.
And it's just a shot, and it gets her in the thigh. She's able to knock it down and make the play. But as a pitcher, one, it hurts, but two, your heart rate gets up. You have to take some time to be able to bring your heart rate down, let yourself start breathing again. I don't want to say your life flashes before your eyes, but you get kind of like a moment like that because it's just so bang bang. And yes, before you ask, I've been hit a time or two.
I would imagine so. You talk about Ralston, I mean, she's been pretty good in these 2 games. She's really only made 2 mistakes. The home run ball to Atwood, and yesterday the solo shot given up to Scott. Besides that, really kept Texas at bay.
Yeah, even she gave up a double to Katie Stewart yesterday, but was able to get Katie Stewart looking.
Bunt drops in there. Minor over to first, not in time. Runners on the corners.
Well, good job by Caden Henry, knowing that Ralston throws with some upspin, stays even with that ball, and the upspin made it tick up, but not to where anybody could catch it, and that extra time in the air allowed Henry to get down the baseline. An easy base hit for the freshman.
Here is Bella Dayton Missed out on a grand slam in the last inning by, what, a couple of feet?
A couple feet, man. Poole over there in right field caught it at the wall, probably maybe 4 feet below the top. Put a charge into it.
Runner Henry is going. They cut off the throw. So now 2 in scoring position. Henry and good on its second and third. Dayton sends one to left field, charging in, but unable to make the grab as Allen 1-run scores. Here comes another, and that is a 2-run double from the senior, Bella Dayton.
Well, Bella Dayton's been swinging away today. She goes to her slap, drops this one right in front of Allen in left field. She tries the shoestring catch, unable to come up with it. Caden Henry with the speed sees that ball ricochet away on her way home. And Bella Dayton, the senior, on senior day, 2 RBI double.
Back up to the top of the order we go after Bella Dayton's 4th double of the year. Ashton Maloney, who is 2 for 3.
When you talk about the versatility of Texas and their lefties, and Bella Dayton having swung away the first 2 at-bats, had the outfield playing deep. Going to her slap there opens up the single, or the double, excuse me, in shallow left field because Allen has to come charging in.
Maloney drops down the bunt foul.
Well, other than Maloney, who is a true slapper, lefties for Texas can do so much as far as small ball swinging away. Dayton, Henry can slap if she needs to. Mia Scott can run through the box if she needs to, not that she does very often. They all have the ability to play with opposing defenses based on their tools.
Oh-2 on the way from Rodriguez. Maloney, a 3rd check swing base knock for her today. 2 to left, this one to left center.
Well, Texas now adjusting to seeing Ralsted 3 times through, combining yesterday and today. Ashton Maloney stays on top of an outside rise ball, able to drive it for a single. Another 1st and 3rd opportunity for Texas.
Mia Scott has singled and walked today. Swings at the first pitch. Tagging is Bella Dayton. The throw home cut off, and Texas up 7-0. Here is Vivi Martinez with Maloney over at first and 2 away in the 5th inning. Texas with 7 runs off 9 hits. Martinez smokes one to left field. That gets past Allen. Maloney rounding 3rd. Here she comes, and Texas has won the game.